Hello, everyone. My name is Cari Champion, and I have a confession on today's show. And the only reason why I'm telling you this is because, well, last week, all y'all folks really hit me and Jay up saying y'all appreciated us talking greasy to them Trump folks. Well, in order to have an authentic relationship with you and basically keep it funky, y'all need to know that while I'm a writer, I have undercover Karen tendencies. I am power to the people, but I will tell on your ass in a minute. I'll go to Target and be like, aisle 3, can you come to aisle 3 and get your employee? I will get all in your business and tell you how to live your life, although you have not asked for my opinion. I will do that. I will also tell a barista at Starbucks to essentially spell my name right. It's Cari with an I, not an E. Can you correct it? Here's the cup. I appreciate it. If you could just correct that. And the only time that I cry shamelessly and blame others is when I'm in a relationship with Bae. So that's the only, I'm on a fence with that one. These are my undercover Karen tendencies. Again, I am a writer, and I appreciate you guys for riding with me, but I will tell on your ass, okay?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Won't Stick to Sports. I am Jemele here with my girl, Cari. Today, great show. We'll be talking to author Ta-Nehisi Coates about his new adaptation for HBO, Between the World and Me, based off his tremendous book. And I also need to tell him a few things, namely how he got me in trouble.
Ain't nobody got you in trouble.
He got me in trouble. It's
you
because of him.
responsible for your own actions.
No, I am not. And speaking of being responsible for actions, let's talk about your actions.
What do you mean? My confession?
Your confession.
I wanted to keep it real with them because there are times when people think I'm just out here riding, but I will tell, like I told on you today. You know what I mean?
I know.
You was late.
Cari, I know you're an undercover Karen.
Okay.
I've been wanting to address this with you for a really long time. I need you to know that your behavior has affected me in the following ways. When our friendship was first developing, I thought we were kindred spirits. We were both raised by strong, single black mothers, both committed journalists, and we both, over time proved that we had the mettle to make it in this business. But I began to see your undercover Karen-ness. It had become too much. When we were in Miami that one time, all right, you had me fooled because your iPhone screen was cracked. And while there was something kind of trifling about that, it let me know that you had not lost touch with your roots. But then you forced me to go shopping with you in a Louis Vuitton store. And you made that poor sales girl pull out 11 pairs of shoes. All of which cost more than the rent I paid for my first 3 apartments. I realized that cracked screen was just a front. A way to throw me off. Over time, more and more of your Karen started to emerge. The nonstop yoga classes, that time we were in Vegas, and there may or may not have been a mild skirmish with some folks in our party, with some Vegas bouncers.
I'm not
and
going to
jail. And
jail.
you looked at me like you wanted to call the police.
I did want
the police,
but did I call the
on
police?
A group of black
but
people.
did I call the police?
No, but that's not the point. It's real simple. If you choose not to change your behavior and accept responsibility for your Karen actions, I'm here to tell you that I will hide all the baby oil in your dressing room that you use on your legs. Will you accept help today? Because it's a white man outside, and I promise I'm gonna push your ass in it.
If, in fact, I agree to get rid of all of my Karen-ness, will you agree to get rid of all your shenanigans?
I'm gonna meet you halfway. I'm glad we got that sorted out.
Okay.
Proving that unity is possible in this country. And with that being said, let's get into previously on America's Bullshit.
You full of shit.
Please leave my property. I don't know if you're just having a bad day or whatever, but today ain't the
I'm
day.
not having a bad day, but you know what? You're a black person in a white neighborhood, and you're acting like one. Why don't you act like a white person in a white neighborhood?
Keep it up. It's all on camera.
This woman is truly in somebody else's business, caught lying on tape.
Yes, this is a real Karen.
This is a real Karen.
Yeah.
How am I bothering you? Why are you at, how do you?
Why are you at my door?
Why are you at my door.
No, I
And she's lucky that he actually was acting like a white person in that moment.
You
Because
ain't lying.
You
ain't lying,
come to
boy.
my house telling me what to do.
Yeah.
Your feelings gonna be hurt.
The
Yeah.
caucasity
The caucasity.
to roll up on somebody's porch.
So listen, this next clip that we should show you is from last night's NBA draft. Like, Jemele and I are having a beef about this.
What?
There are some things that we need explained. Perhaps you at home can help
Just take
us.
a look, people.
Take a
Tell
look.
me what you noticed.
The Denver Nuggets select Zeke Naji from the University of Arizona.
Hold on.
Wait a second, though.
Can we just... Twitter said,
What they say?
the social media detectives said...
what?
The white lady in the kente, that's his mama.
Okay.
You know, what? That can't be his mama?
Well, I immediately thought, one, that was his girlfriend. And so I was about to go all the way in, right? Because I was just like, don't. But I guess if it's his mom, it's okay because she married a Nigerian man and they're all in the family.
She's participating in the customs, right? However, you know what it reminded me of?
Don't you however
You know what
me.
it reminded me of?
Don't however me.
Hey, can y'all show that picture of our U.S. lawmakers, you know, the day that they decided that they wanted to
Be a part of the
be
culture.
a part of the culture?
They're trying to meet us halfway.
We ain't asked for that.
What's next?
All right, we got one more. COVID deniers in Southern California. Yep, they're really going here. Does that say indiscret? I'm shocked that one didn't pop up saying George Soros is behind us. That's a lot of
They
money.
got a lot of money to waste.
Yeah, I mean,
Rich and dumb is the worst thing ever.
and unfortunately, I mean, that leads to a wider conversation that we definitely want to have. I mean, as of now, you know, we're talking about 250,000 people who are dead from COVID. This pandemic is not under control. We're not any better than when we first learned about the pandemic earlier than this year. And if you look at the sports world, for example, you know, this is, to me, very emblematic of what's happening in the country. Like,
What do you mean?
well, because every week, you know, you have NFL players, NFL personnel testing positive, facilities having to be shut down. This weekend alone right now is 8 college games that are canceled. There have been over 60 college games either canceled or postponed because of this. It is a part of a larger problem of either apathy, ignorance, or just borderline fatigue where people in this country have decided that we just gonna tweet through it.
I don't think it's apathy. I don't think it's tweet through it. I think it's money. Jemele, this country is built on money. Like that's all we care about is the bottom line. Like, how does this affect our bottom line? And you and I have seen how that works. I personally know NBA players who tell me we don't have a choice. They presented it to us like we have a choice, but we don't have a choice. They're holding our money, right? In the NBA, they're holding 40% of their money. In the NFL, what do you have? 3 years, right? I don't know about you. If I had 3 years to make $1 million each year, I'm about to do that. I'm about to work. Y'all don't tell me about no pandemic. I'm about to be out here and just try to wash my hands every day.
Really, to me, it was really disgusting what happened at the college level. Because at first, like the Big Ten, they said, no, we're not gonna play. You know, health and safety of our athletes come first. And then they're like, oh man, SEC, y'all just gonna go through it? But they decided, you know what, that money grab just too important.
Yeah,
so I'm like, oh, so fuck these college kids. That's basically what y'all saying.
But it's always been that, Jay.
Yeah.
When has it not been, we don't care about these black athletes? When has it not been, these kids don't matter? They've always dismissed these children and used them for money. NCAA is the biggest hypocritical institution we've ever seen.
There is a part of our American consciousness, whether we want to admit it or not, that has just decided we don't want to beat COVID. We just want to simply live with it.
At the end of the day, unfortunately, it's that athlete, primarily the black athlete, that will pay the price and their family.
Yeah.
We shall see. We'll be right back with Ta-Nehisi Coates. Am I saying it right?
You did say
I did it right. Yay!
Ta-Nehisi Coates up next.
Welcome back to Won't Stick to Sports. Ta-Nehisi Coates is a New York Times bestselling author. One of my personal favorites that he's written is Between the World and Me. It is so amazing, and it alerts you. It awakens the spirit, if you will. And it has been turned into an HBO special narrated by some of the best black actors in Hollywood.
I was admitted to Howard University, but formed and shaped by the Mecca. Now, these institutions are related, but not the same. Howard University is an institution of higher education concerned with the LSAT, Magna Cum Laude, Phi Beta Kappa. The Mecca is a machine crafted to capture and concentrate the dark energies of all African peoples and inject them directly into the student body.
All right, thank you, Ta-Nehisi, for joining us. But before we get started with this interview, I have to tell you something, and you may not have known this before, but you are the entire reason that I got in trouble in 2017 for that tweet I fired off about the president.
You know.
Yes.
I do know.
You do know this. Okay, well, I just thought I would reiterate this for our audience. So Ta-Nehisi got me in trouble because he wrote this spectacular essay for The Atlantic, where I am now a contributing writer, and it was called The First White President, and it was the definitive case for why Donald Trump is a white supremacist.
In trouble?
Because I was fired up after reading this.
Hold up. Jamel, were you right, though?
Oh,
was
yeah,
you-
it was
but
all
was you
facts.
right?
I mean, it was all
But was
facts.
you
What else
right?
is there? What else is there?
Exactly. Okay, Ta-Nehisi, when you look around the country, from Lindsey Graham to the situation happening in Wayne County, you have a very bold attempt by conservatives and Republicans to try to steal this election. They're specifically targeting black voters. What do you make of this time that we're in right now and what they're trying to do?
I mean, I think it goes back to your tweet. I think that's pretty much the bottom line. The idea that Trump would not fight as hard as he could to single out black people in Detroit. I understand if you don't believe Trump's a white supremacist, you probably find that baffling. But if he is a white supremacist, it makes perfect sense. What more do you need? Do you really need him to go out on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody? Shoot a black person like that? Is that what you need to believe it?
Yes, obviously, because no one does believe it. Look, Ta-Nehisi, you said something that I thought was interesting, and I wholly disagreed with you. You said if you voted for Trump, you don't believe that, that doesn't necessarily mean you are a racist if you voted for Trump. I don't believe that. And
Wait, you gotta say the rest of it though.
Okay, all right. So I want you to explain that contextually. Tell us what you mean.
Right. What I said was, I believe, what I've said this several times is that, you can vote for Trump and not be a white supremacist or not be a racist, but you clearly have no problem handing over the reins of government of the most powerful state in world history to a racist or a white supremacist.
How does that not
I don't know what's in your heart.
though?
You know what I mean? I don't. Go ahead.
Ta-Nehisi, how does that not make you a racist if you have no problem handing over the reins to a guy who is a white supremacist? How does that not make you complicit?
I'm trying to be as charitable as I possibly can. Man, I'm just trying to, you know what I mean?
You are somebody who was somewhat critical of Joe Biden being the nominee, of being the one who kind of rose out of the field. Now that Joe Biden is the president-elect, he has been calling for unity and to unify the country. Given everything that we've seen the last 4 years, particularly from Trump supporters, do you think it's possible that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris can unify the country?
I don't know, but probably not. Probably not. What evidence is there that they would succeed at that? Historically, America has united the country in only one way, and that is to exclude people, very often black people, out of the body politic and unite white people. That's our history of unity in America. There's no other long-term enduring point in which there was, a kind of egalitarian unity established in America. So no, there's no real evidence for that. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe a miracle, maybe there's something I'm not seeing. I would love to come back on here in 4 years and say I was totally wrong.
Ta-Nehisi, we went through a different, or at least what I perceive to be a different racial conversation earlier this year after Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, and it seemed as if there was a more meaningful effort among white people in particular to be allies to black people, only to turn around and see the majority of them vote for Donald Trump after we went through a bunch of conversations. Are we ready as a country to finally have those uncomfortable and dark conversations that we've been so reluctant to have at various points in our history?
I mean, some of us are. I mean, I think it was a lot of people in the street, but it's a lot of white people in America, like a ton. So, both can be true. It could be a ton, and in fact, a historic number of white people willing to, participate in protests. And I just want to be clear, look, that matters. when I see that, you know, a 75-year-old white dude stand in front of the Buffalo Police Department and get his head busted open, you know, that matters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just isn't everything. You know what I mean? It just isn't everything. It's going to take a lot.
Obama has a new book out called The Promised Land, A Promised Land, and I know that you have interviewed him. Your critique, I believe, in one of your books was that you felt like he was too passive as a president, perhaps maybe not as harsh as she should have been or more tough. If you look at his presidency now, do you in form of what we've been dealing with Donald Trump, do you still feel that way?
You know, it wasn't really the passivity. It was, put bluntly, it was a lack of skepticism of white people.
Oh.
That I think, and I think that's a double-edged sword, man. I don't think you become the first Black president by being skeptical of white people. I just don't think it works that way, you know? And so I think for all of his charisma, his brilliance, and his basic human decency, which, you know, I will say I think is coming through once again, it does not prepare you for the shit these motherfuckers will do. Like at all. Like you can't grasp the level of depravity and almost suicidal behavior. You understand? I'm talking about people on their deathbed with their last breath, denying that they have COVID because their white supremacist president refuses to wear a mask. Black people are prepared to die for freedom and die for America and die for their children. White people in this country have always been prepared, not simply to die for white people, but to kill for white people. And they'll do it. They'll do it.
All right. To that end, Jemele, you wanna play a game?
Yeah, I think we should. I mean, we've asked him to solve racism and talk about white supremacy. We owe you a game, Ta-Nehisi.
Yeah, we owe you a game.
Yes.
We came up with a game, and we know that you have a few for Black Panther issues coming out. That'll be in 2021. Captain America released this week. Shout out to Captain America. So the game is called Who You Gonna Call?
So here's your first situation. All right, you're on your way to buy some masks from the drugstore down the block. You make a wrong left turn, and you find yourself in the middle of the Million MAGA March. They're headed toward you. So who you gonna call?
Can I call villains too?
Yes, you can call villains.
Yeah.
I'm about to break the game. I'm gonna call Purple Man.
Purple Man is, if they're not comic book fans, is the guy that can make everybody do what they want to do in what scenario? Any scenario?
Yeah, I mean, he just said, you know, hey, how about you eat that MAGA hat right now?
And you got to do it.
You got to do it.
Bark like a dog.
MAGA hat is delicious.
Good answer.
All right, so you're attending a 2-week-long conference. You're on probably the 11th day of this conference, and you sit down and discover Mitch McConnell is the keynote speaker. Who will you call?
Nightcrawler. Get me up out.
Ooh, that's a good choice. So good choice there. All right. Final scenario here. All right. You're arrested at a peaceful protest in Miami, and after processing, they stick you in a cell with Terry Crews. Who you calling?
Oh, shoot. I don't know.
Oh, man. Shots fired.
You don't want to answer that?
Nah, I'm good. I just don't know who I would call. I'm good with Terry. I would love to interview Terry. I don't need nobody. I would love to talk to Terry. I want to know what's going on.
Ta-Nehisi, you got more patience than me.
Well, yeah, you are a saint.
Yeah, you are. And that's what makes you a brilliant writer, is your ability to understand sometimes things we really can't understand.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, brother, more than you could possibly know. You're amazing. You're awesome. Everybody, make sure you watch Between the World and Me. A lot of wonderful people that have helped adapt this to screen. And if you haven't read the book, get your life right. Get your life right. It literally will change your life. Thank you for that. All right. Thanks, bro. Take care. Wish the family well and stay safe.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Bye.
Welcome back to Won't Stick to Sports. I hate to bring the mood down, Cari, but I need to because I need to address some fuckery going down in my home state of Michigan. The Election Canvassing Board of Wayne County, which is the county that Detroit is in, met earlier this week to certify the county's presidential results. should have been a mere formality. Instead, it turned into a glaring example of how in 2020, Black people still have to fight for the most basic of freedoms. The certification board deadlocked after 2 Republican members of the board, Monica Palmer and William Hartman, voted against certifying the results. That's bad. But it gets worse. Monica Palmer, the chair of the board, said she would be open to certifying the vote in, quote, communities other than Detroit. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be because Detroit is 80% Black? Because if some of you haven't noticed this, during these pathetic last-ditch efforts to challenge election results, they all seem to be following a particular pattern. White votes matter, Black ones don't. Now, thankfully, Monica Palmer and William Hartman's attempt to summon their inner Jim Crow didn't work. Granted, they reversed their votes, but that wouldn't have even happened if hundreds of local citizens hadn't logged on via Zoom to let them have it. In fact, y'all want to see a dead body?
Your grandchildren are going to think of you like Bull Connor or George Wallace. Monica Palmer and William Hartman will forever be known in southeastern Michigan as 2 racists who did something so unprecedented.
Now, just so you guys know, both those 2 clowns, Monica Palmer and William Hartman, they have since signed affidavits saying that they want to take it back again, but that doesn't seem to be possible at this moment. Now, but this is what I want other people to understand, is that Black people have had to overcome a lot just to vote. Literacy tests, poll taxes, grandfather clauses, a lot of bullshit. Many of us were killed, brutalized, just to participate in a so-called democracy that has never, ever protected us.
You done with them?
I am. I'm done with that. I'm done with Monica Palmer. She's getting a lot of smoke right now, but she deserves every last bit of it for trying to disenfranchise people.
This show's been heavy.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we had some light moments, though.
I am.
In particular, once we're done here, are you still pushing my ass into the van?
I mean, I don't know, Cari. We have to see how you behave the rest of the day. Well, in fact, I'll give you a week trial.
Namaste. We'll see you
December 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cari
right.
may or may not be here. I got this white van all warmed up. We'll see what happens. Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving, and of course, stay safe.